Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. It is a beautiful spring evening. I found myself redecorating suddenly and spontaneously. Had to tear myself away, bring myself to the tarot table because I do have two readings that I want to do today on the Invictus Games, and neither of them very good looks for poor old Harry, who's in the news for all the wrong reasons at the moment. And so we're going to have a look at that. I've got the Storyteller's Tarot on the tarot table for this first reading, and also just want to tell you that my other tarot channel is actually up on YouTube. I haven't posted on this channel about it because I want to keep the two absolutely separate. I will eventually, but if you're interested, it's called Signs and Wonders Tarot. You will recognize it with the garish Frida tarot cloth that I was using for the other tarot channel, and it's where basically spirituality intersects with world events. If that interests you, then pop over to Signs and Wonders Tarot. I've done a couple of readings. They are up, just dipping my toe in the energy over there. But let's get back to royal readings now with the Storyteller's Tarot. And the first one is a wild story that I personally think is too wild to be true, but we're going to test it. It started on X and it was picked up by Angela Levin. And this is about an alleged secret £21 million loan request that Harry put in to the Home Office, the Treasury, secretly trying to bypass parliamentary oversight. This was allegedly for security costs, to cover security costs. I assume his and Madame's and the kids' security costs at the Invictus Games in Birmingham in 2027. Not a good look, bearing in mind that Birmingham is broke. The British government is pretty much broke at this point. And allegedly it was turned down flat by the Home Office, rejected. And I'm quoting from this X posting by senior figures in the Home Office and Treasury who called it inappropriate, excessive, and politically tone deaf. And they basically said Harry was asking for a blank check. And we know who likes to spend on Invictus's dime, allegedly. Anyway, wildly speculative story. As I say, I'm not sure that there's any substance to this rumor. I'm going to test it with the Storyteller's Tarot. We're going to have a little 5-card reading to warm ourselves up today. And we're going to ask how the Invictus Games is financially. We're going to ask if Harry did actually put in a secret loan request, trying to bypass those regulatory procedures. A feeling if he did, allegedly turned down flat with some rather scathing comments. We're going to ask about that. And we're going to ask, finally, and the most interesting question for me is impact that this alleged loan request or grant request might have had on Harry's standing as patron of Invictus, because next reading is about rumblings, desire for him to step down as patron. That's a Richard Eden story that broke today. We're going to look at that more seriously in the next reading. But for now, let's just test this loan, the secret loan story out. Test the energy. Let's remind you, tarot, fun and entertainment, all my opinion, all speculation, just reading energy here. Got the energy. And disclaimer in the box below. Let's see what the cards have to tell us, and whether Auntie Angela has, well, as I say, she didn't come up with this story. She just gave it airtime so that it was picked up by more people. And let's see. Any truth to it, any substance to this rumor. That's what we like to check out here on this channel, see what's going on. And what is that? That's the back of the card. Oh dear, we have the Strength card. that had me stymied for a moment. That's a Strength card. That's the underlying energy. You know who that is. Strength card, Leo energy. Unfortunately for the poor old Strength card, which is actually a lovely card, but gets a bad rap here on this channel. And it's me again, her energy, and it's a power play. And I will only come back and be a pretend royal if I have those people running alongside the bulletproof limo. And, you know, we saw the guy with the Glock case in New York that has been the only friend that RPO, ex-RPO, and all of that stuff need this so she can wind down the window and wave regally to the crowd as she drives by. It's interesting energy. It feels just very much like a power play. So let's see what's going on, and maybe even, I have to say, maybe even this rumor, because it is a rumor on X, it hasn't been picked up by any of the mainstream press as lacking in credibility as they all are, in my opinion, at this point. What a sad sight to see journalists stoop as low as they are stooping currently. I'm getting just a vague notion she might have sent this little rumor out into circulation for whatever reason. It's possible in the energy. I'm not saying she did. I'm saying I get energy she might have. Situation we're dealing with today. Death in reverse, same old, same old. Needing to let go of something and not being able to. He actually needs to let go of the Invictus Games. See next reading, but can't, because that's all he has. We've got snoring. She's been very busy destroying a tennis ball while I've been redecorating. Death in reverse is just inability to let go, inability to change, stuck in a certain mindset, stuck in a way of being. It's also Par's energy, and Par, of course, has refused point blank to open the Bank of Par and subsidise Harry's security needs in the UK, and not only his, but also Madame's and the children's. Par has been rather obstinate in his refusal to do this. Harry thought he just would. And so there is that as well coming through in that death card in reverse. Let's look at the financial standing of the Invictus Foundation itself. I think it's a foundation, I don't know, but the organization itself. The World. Now that on the face of it is a very successful card, and I think quite a beautiful rendition of the World in this Storyteller's Tarot. But very successful. It's completion, attained your goals kind of energy. That's the World. But it's also an ending energy. It's like ending on a high note. And there's just an undercurrent of that card that, even though on the face of it, it looks very successful, they're doing very well on the surface, what's going on behind the scenes? And what's going on behind the scenes, there might actually be an ending. It might be that this games is the last games and they wrap up after that, or they try and join, say, the Warriors games in the United States and amalgamate with them. I know that they've had to expand their remit because the wounded veterans are in short supply. Mercifully, let's just say that. But, you know, who knows for how long. But I'm getting a strange undercurrent to that energy. So let's ask the critical question. Did Harry actually approach the British government, the Treasury, for a secret loan or grant to cover security costs of the Invictus Games? I would imagine his security costs, although it isn't made explicit in this rumour. So I'm just adding my little spin to this rumour. Let's see, did he do that? Ooh, I've got the moon. Oh, and it's in reverse. I might have to take back the doubt and the suspicion about Auntie Angela with that card, because the moon is about shady behaviour. Ooh. Confusing stories, things hidden away in the depths, in the shadows, covered, hard to fathom, hard to puzzle out. It's in reverse, which means it's come out. The story has leaked. I wonder who might have leaked it. Just an interesting energy. Major Arcana, it's a big deal, and we're getting Major Arcana all over this reading. They're all Major Arcana so far, which means this is a big deal. strange then that it has not been picked up, that it has drifted around on social media and hasn't got any traction with mainstream media. But that is a very interesting card, because it's a card of hidden things and secrets and fear and doubt and suspicion. And if you are afraid of coming back to the UK because you think that someone's going to do a terrible thing to you, and I think Harry genuinely believes that. I think he's so invested in the Mummy Diana story. I nearly said fairy tale, but no, it was a true story, but I think his version of it is not necessarily the actual version of what happened to Diana. And that is the Diana card, the moon, of course, Cancerian woman. I know the moon in tarot really is a Piscean energy, but you know, the moon is Cancerian energy. Come on. I think he really is afraid. Frightened. Is frightened. Okay, how was this request, the secret loan application, received? We get the words inappropriate, excessive, and politically tone deaf. Really? Oh yeah. Swatted away. Another major arcana, the Temperance card. Impatience. Can't believe that you're doing this. It's excessive, literally. The Temperance card is the card of moderation when it's upright. Patience and moderation. Balance and harmony. In reverse, excess. Immoderate behavior. People being impatient with this request and even quite angry with it. If there was any substance to this rumor, of course we have to say it's all allegedly, but that's a very interesting card. Impact of this alleged loan request that was allegedly swatted away with some quite savage words. Impact on Harry's role as patron. See you next reading, as I say. All five of scepters fighting. It's the only minor arcana in this reading, interestingly, but it's the card of conflict, one of them. And it's conflict within a group, a small team. And can't believe you did that. Now it's made our lives extra difficult. We try to raise funds. We are quite successful, seemingly, world. But you've just, you know, you've just brought unwelcome attention to us. And here we all are having a spat about it. It's not a terrible energy. It's not major arcana. It's not the tower, things like that. But it's means that it's caused upset. It's caused rumblings, which is the word that is very prominent in the next reading when we look at the story that Harry might be forced to step down as patron of the Invictus Games. Hope to see you over there.